So when we're talking about an area of a triangle, we're going to start with an area of a square. So here we've got a 4x4 square. And if you were to predict the area, you could probably tell me that it's 16 because you know how to calculate the area of a rectangle in a square. But if I ask you to cut it in half, just like this, you could probably guess what the area of one of the triangles would be. Take a second and write it down, or pause if you need a second to think about it. So if you were to predict the area of the triangle, I'm hoping that you thought about the fact that we've cut our square in half, which means the area would be cut in half, which means we would have 8 units squared. And so that means that our triangle is half of a square or a rectangle. So when we find the area of a triangle, we're really finding the area of a rectangle and then cutting it in half. So first we're going to write down the formula. Now I like the formula area equals base times height divided by 2. And I like it this way because then we don't see the division all on one line. Your teacher may tell you to do it differently, and that's fine. There are several different ways you could write this. However, for this video, I'm going to use this version, which I use in my own classroom. And we use that because we don't get into order of operations, which if you haven't done, you're going to get to soon. So then we multiply the base, or the bottom of the triangle, by the height. So in this case, our base is 4 and our height is 9. And we get the answer, 36, and then we divide it by 2. And actually, I can see that I've neglected to include that part, and that step should be in your work when you do it. So this should be part of your work, that you show the multiplication and then still the fraction. And I know that it's a fraction and that's how you're looking at it, but that line in a fraction has always meant divide. You just didn't know it. So if you haven't learned that yet, that line in between the 36 and the 2 just really means divide. So we're going to divide 36 divided by 2, and we're going to get the answer 18. And that's how we find the area of a triangle. So base times height divided by 2. Remember, we're dividing in 2 because when we looked at the area of a square and then we cut it in half, that's all that we were doing, is cutting in half a square or a rectangle to find a triangle area. When you go to do this symbol, when you go to do the symbol of the 2 squared or cubed, when we get to volume, you're going to go up to Insert, Special Characters, and then I've got it defaulted, but yours may default to something else. But what you want is the one that says Math Alphanumeric, which means numbers and letters. And that's what I've got. And then you just click on whatever one you want. Superscript is what you want. Superscript means above. So we want the 2. We click it, and it automatically puts it in for us. We don't even have to do anything. See how now I've got 2? So it will put it in for it, and then you just close that box. The other option, and what I've been doing, is just to copy and paste it, because then I can change the answer to select 2. And if it's now in meters, I delete that. If you're going to copy and paste, though, you've just got to watch your units, because if this is in centimeters, but I put meters because I've copied and pasted it, it's wrong. So please double check that.